Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network, back in action once again, trackside here at Daytona International Speedway. Tonight's ASRC Gen 4 Series kicks things off for the first time this season. Who's going to claim the crown of the Speedway King early here this season? How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave of the Cave, gonna bring you all the calls from trackside. Been a little while since I've seen a handful of these drivers. We'll see how they go about their business tonight. The Premier Racing setup. Qualifying session underway, so we won't waste any more time. Let's get to some the timing and scoring charts. What do you say we throw that over there to the left-hand side of your screen? Fast as always, Tanner Tallarico temporarily on the top of the speed charts. Gonna get snatched away from him now. That 03 of Justin Thompson gonna take the quick time here in qualifying, setting the field early here at Daytona. Just about 2 minutes remaining in a long night of racing ahead of each and every one of these drivers. We'll see if Thompson can keep that top spot. Patton with a good run. 38 machine inside of the top 5. And noticeably a handful of drivers not attempting a qualifying lap. It looks like Ron Hart, Jimmy McIntyre Jr. It looks like that 81 in the 51 will stay back behind pit wall. The 31 of Matt McLean looks like he is not going to put any time on the engine or tires, as Braxton DeWeese goes top of the speed charts, 48.04, edging Al Thompson by just a thousandth of a second. Man, these guys cooking in these old school Gen 4 machines right around the corner from the start of tonight's Premier 250. Glad you could all join us here tonight. We're gonna take a brief commercial break, pay a few of the sponsor bills. You know how that goes. Kick things off trackside with your national anthem. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And back trackside as drivers get ready to strap the belts in and get ready to roll here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. Moments ago, we watched Braxton DeWeese in that 08 take the season's first pole position. He will bring us to the green flag. Speaking of getting ready to bring us to the green flag, what do you say we transition a little closer to this track as drivers take their starting positions? There you can see them all lined up on pit road, ready to roll, ready to go here tonight. And we're going to kick things off right for the premiere 250 live from Daytona International Super Speedway. Starting inside, row number 1 rolling off the grid, bringing us to the green flag for the first time this season with the ASRC Gen 4 season. Inside, row number 1 behind the wheel of that 08 machine, Braxton DeWeese. Justin Thompson just to his outside. How about James Pileski in that 39 machine right in row number 2, followed by the quick major Andrew Payne. Brett the Jet inside row number 3 with Tim Rogers just to his outside. 86 of Stephen Hoffman. Inside row number 4 with David Patton just to his right. Row number 5 here tonight, the one of Tanner Tallarico and Devin McDonald will round out your top 10. Timothy Presley and Nick Fleury back in row number 6. Row number 7 tonight, starting in that 13th position, the 9 of John Kane. Hayden Swank in the 35. Sits in 14, Zachary Postma, Tyler Martin. Row number 8 and row number 9 here tonight. Jeremy Watkins, Ron Hart, Mac McLean, Braden Cook, Jimmy McIntyre, and Andrew Hardings. Not laying down a qualifying time. They're going to keep the car safe for tonight's race. No quick fixes for these guys. No fast repairs. You gotta be willing to risk it for the biscuit if you're gonna make moves from the back to the front. Long way to go. 250 miles of racing. Way ahead of the American Sim Motor Racing Club drivers as they roll off a 4 for the first time. Pace car is gonna make the left-hand turn, and we're gonna get ready to fire things off here tonight. In goes the pace car, and away we go. Green flag flies for the first time here in Daytona. As can be expected, no real advantage entering turn number 1. Field still side by side for multiple rows back through this field. Super speedway racing, you know, draft racing, you know what restrictor plate racing's like. You can see a handful of guys playing it a little bit safe already in the back. I believe that's gonna be getting around that 51 of Ron Hart. Big run to the outside now for that 3 machine, the Goodrich 03. That thing looks sweet, man. Almost brought back memories of the number 3 Oreo paint scheme, if you remember that one. If you happen to be old enough, if you do, if you are and you do, well, I appreciate that. Leading on the inside lane, behind the wheel of that lead machine, Braxton DeWeese will lead lap number 1. He's got the comic book Sharpie painted up number 39 right to his rear bumper. Justin Thompson still trying to make something happen with that 03 on the high side. Not quite able to link up with the Kellogg's number 48 machine as he's going to drop to the inside lane. That's going to leave Thompson vulnerable at the top. No help. Your top 3, 4, 5 all single file. 3 cars left on the high side. Let's go a little further back in the pack. Give you a little look-see at what's going on here. Tight little racing. Hey, check out that number. I believe that's going to be the number 22. The John Deere machine. Yes, it is the number 22 John Deere. Oh, but Timothy Presley. Always love seeing those John Deere machines in here. They always look good. John Deere keeps your grass looking good as well. Looking good at the front now. Challenging on that outside lane. Look at the run by the 39. Jump to the outside of the 13. No problems, no issues, no fouls right there. Looking for the lead spot now, challenging your premier racing setup. Bill Award winner, get it done. Lead a lap here early. No big wash up out of 4. Big trouble now for the DuPont number 1 machine of Tallarico. Contact with the outside wall out of 4. He's going to lose a handful of positions. Losing spots is Tallarico there. You can see him heading back to the back of the pack in front of the singular number 51 machine of Ron Hart. To see if Tallarico can stop the bleeding as single file for the majority of the field up at the front. But that 39 of Pileski still trying to make it happen. Not going to work. It's going to fizzle out on the high side as drivers go screaming by on the bottom. Checking out that 71 machine keeping up with the field. That Viagra sponsored machine. Nice little throwback look to a lot of these machines, right? If you think about it, this was a handful of years ago. These Gen 4 machines, handful of years ago, these were the Premier Cup cars. These were what the big boys were driving on Sundays, but not anymore. These are now the official Arca Menard Series machines. And it's just good to see a lot of these drivers saluting some of the old school paint schemes that we used to see around the track on Sundays as lap number 5 gets ready to conclude. We're going to get ready to drop that timing and scoring to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver in the field here tonight. Just like we do in the booth, there it is off of Ford. We still top of the charts, leading them to the start-finish line. Things getting a little hasty in the back. Tallarico want to make some headway after a little bit of problems. About that 39 of Pileski dropped way deep in the field. Looks like he's searching for the back. We're gonna head back towards the front of the field. What do you say we get back at the point poles that are still showing the way? Andrew Payne right along with him. Tim Rogers sits in third. Brett Vaughn, 71. Right there sitting in fourth. We'll see if Brett the Jet can fly by anybody or if he's just gonna linger right here inside of the top 5. Solid qualifying showing for the Jet. Started in 5th, now up to 4th, so it's solid beginning to the season opener. Looking around the field just a little bit. Here's the battle for inside of the top 5. The 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman has it for the time being. Timothy Presley pressing hard behind him in that 22. And let's hear it. We got a ton of people out here joining us here tonight in TV Land, out there in the chat. Let's hear your picks. I know if you're a significant other, obviously, you got it. Well, you don't have to pick them. You don't have to. Never mind. We're not going to get into all of those politicans. We're just going to keep on 3 wide. 3 wide contact, and oh no, trouble for Martin. Tyler Martin with a big spin. Trying to catch Martin. There he is. Big spin. No contact with anything yet. Sitting backwards on the track. No caution. Trouble avoided for the majority of the field, but this is going to spell big time issues for this 3 of Martin. He is going to be well behind the field. He's going to need a caution for sure. Already 30 seconds back. Martin, big trouble after contact. Coming through the tri-oval. Lap 9 underway. Front of the field remains the same. A little bit of a battle now. Brewing around that 5th, 6th position here. You can see that. Oh. But then that is going to be the number 3. And you got to forgive us. Some of the numbers on the side of these cars not listed on over here on the official timing and scoring chart. So it's a little tricky, a little hairy from time to time. We're going to see if we can't get that all worked out. I believe that is going to be Justin Thompson in the 03, making headway again on the high side. We've seen Thompson drop to the back. You can see that sharp number 39 of James Poleski also drop to the back, now working his way back to the front. And how about this? No fast repairs, no quick fixes, and these guys still side by side mixing it up. Not a whole lot of single file running here. You know, a lot of these drivers can play in sync. You know, guys, let's get single file. Let's get deep into tonight's race. Let's maybe get a pit stop or 2 underneath our belts. Then we can save the racing for later on. But it all comes down to it and what it all matters. But no, these American Sim Motor Racing Club drivers said none of that. The fans in the stands came to watch a race, and that's exactly what we're going to give them here tonight for the first time. New race leader across the line. Thompson's going to take it in fashion. Big move to the bottom of the racetrack. That's going to leave McDonald leading that outside lane. Big push and down all the apron. 3. Great save. Tallarico going to push the envelope for a minute, make his way through the middle. Side by side battle for a moment between McDonald and Presley. They're going to sort it out. 13 still struggling to try to get back to that top spot. Dewey drops now to 3rd. Drivers going to make their way off of 1 and 2, begin to head down the back stretch, coming right at you and into turn number 3, being led by that Timothy Presley right there. DeWeese still sitting in 3rd. Pole sitter with a good showing so far here tonight. All the drivers, the entire field, right here. 2 drivers a little bit behind the 8 ball. They've had a little trouble, but they are beginning to make some headway. As I say that, there you can see Tyler Martin driving with early trouble here tonight. Big spin, big save for Martin. Let's make no mistakes about it here. Big save. What could have ended his night didn't quite put the nail in the coffin. He still got that fighting chance. Even at a lap down, you got a fighting chance, especially at these super speedways. So we'll see what goes on. We'll see what happens. As McIntyre challenges for that top spot. The 81 of Jimmy McIntyre up 20 positions. Biggest mover of tonight's race from the back to the front. Will he lead him across the line? Let's take a look. There you can see him on the high side trying to make the run on the 18. He's going to get it done. The Caterpillar number 81 machine of Jimmy McIntyre going to take the lap 13. It looks like if 2 drivers can get a fairly close draft, you don't have to be pushing on these things because the rear ends and the fronts just really don't line up. You could really jack up another car, and I think that's what we've seen take place with that 03. After he gained the lead for that brief little moment there, I believe that is what happened. Just a little bit of contact at the wrong place, wrong time, and it sent him towards the back of this field. You can see the Sharpie number 39 machine. He's starting to come up into the mix. A little bit of damage, though. That Monster Energy machine of Tyler Martin, he's going to head to the inside of the racetrack, let the field head on by. Presley with a good solid run. McIntyre, biggest mover of the night by far. He's joined by only Matt McGlane in that 31 singular machine. You can see him 4th car back there. 15 positions. Only McIntyre and McGlane are in those double digits as far as positions gained here tonight. Both drivers started way outside the top 5. Right here. Ooh, big push there. Second time we've seen it. Second time we've seen a push go wrong out of 2, and it's gonna belong to that big green tractor. Well, it ain't big green here tonight. I'm telling you what. Presley, whoever did the paint on that machine, you gotta go pay him again. Because that is beautiful. Absolutely sweet looking ride. Let's see, can we get a closer look, guys? Can we get a little up close there on that 22? Can we find it? There it is. Man, I'll tell you what, look at that. That is just a beautiful, beautiful ride. Out front, showing the way, started in the 10th position, now running at the top. Big challenge once again to the high side. The 81 of McIntyre going to have help from McLean as this dynamic duo, they hooked up in the early laps. And they just kept going. He did the own paint. That's the lights out. That is amazing. And he's got to be talented to move his way up through the field the way he has. To be able to paint a car that way, too. That's why I'm in the booth. I am not that talented. Just saying. Just saying. We leave the talent on track. We let them do what they do. I'll just act like I know what I do. It works. Sometimes. Little bit of a rundown through the field. Not a whole lot of big movers in tonight's race. McIntyre, obviously, from 21st all the way to the top spot. Big Lane right behind him, 19th on the starting grid. 2-second Presley up 8 positions. Blesky gonna drop 1 spot back to 4th. Rogers gonna round out your top 5 with McDonald, Thompson, Payne, Hayne, and Pat. Finishing out your top 10. A little bit of a drop for a handful of these guys. Where is your pole sitter? What has happened to DeWeese? We're gonna go back here to this. I don't want to call it a second pack, but it's almost developing. It's almost there. Hanging on to him right here, but single file running in the back of this field. It looks like these guys are starting to show a little bit more patience. And could that be a new perspective for your pole sitter, DeWeese, to see how things are going in front of them, be able to visualize where he needs to put the car, hear the words from the spotter, and be able to make those moves without hesitation. It's one thing starting from the pole, it's another working your way to the front of the field. We've seen a handful of guys at the front do it so far here tonight. 39, a good example of Lesky dropping back to about that 15th position, able to work his way back to the front. He seems to be content to just ride as we close in on the green flag pit stops, just about a quarter of the way through tonight's race. And what may be lingering around the corner has got to be weighing on the driver's minds. It's got to be weighing on the spotter, the crew chief, and the pit crew. First green flag pit stop of the season. A pit road penalty at a super speedway can trash your night. Will anybody get popped by the pit road police as we await our first round of green flag pit stops? We see a long train of cars now to the inside. Pole sitter DeWeese says, I'm gonna head to the front, boys. He's gonna jump to the outside. He'll make his way by Brett Hahn. 93 just to the inside of that's Andrew Payne. There's Thompson back inside the top 10. Thompson sitting in that good wrench number 3 machine. The 18 in front of him. McDonald was just running inside of your top 5 just 5 laps ago. And here he is just trying to hang on to a solid top 10. No short-lived battle for the race lead. Supremacy. Not situated. We're not even a quarter of the way through tonight's race, and we've had ourselves over 15 lead changes. Drivers at the front of this field absolutely laying it on lap after lap. Tell you what, we haven't went to an onboard camera, guys. Can you give us one of our onboard? Whoa, big moment contact, and this could be, oh my good, Howland. I have no clue how these guys aren't wadded up, ripped up, torn up, and in the fence. Holy goodness. Big time trouble now for that 81 machine. Jimmy McIntyre may have some right side tire troubles now. Big problems for the 81 from the back to the front to the back again. Jeez, what a moment. Beneficiary of that is going to be the number 22 John Deere machine. Presley back at the point, but here comes Alarica. And that was more than a great save. That's a wheelman moment. You take that, you put it on the highlight clip, and you run it again, because that was, and not just by the 81, by everybody behind him. That could have easily wadded up and ended the day of multiple cars, multiple drivers' days could have come to an end, and everybody was able to check up, move out the way, give enough room, and allow that 81 to save it not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. Not just by the driver, but the entire field of drivers off of 4, leading the way for the first time here tonight across the line. Tanner Tallarico will put a lap lead in the back, lead over a quarter of the way through tonight's premiere, 250. Gonna jump around from time to time, trying to check out a little bit of what's going on all around this racetrack. We do have 2, almost 3 distinct little separate packs. You can see a 5-car pack followed by another 5-car pack. We'll see if any of those drivers are able to get in line and run down this lead pack. Big moments just 2 laps ago, with this 81 machine of Jimmy McIntyre all but wadded it up. Whew. What does that do to a driver? Let's take a look inside. See how ginger he may be. All the wheeling on the throttle. Not looking to buy a Dodge, but looking to go buy a Dodge. He's going to look to the inside. McIntyre's going to take a position away from that number 9 of John Kane. Now move in on the back end of Brett Hahn. But you can see that 31 machine also involved in this one. Working his way back up through the field. McIntyre starting to recover well on board with your pole sitter, Dewey's. Nobody in front. Handful of drivers running about a half a car length up. Not quite that second lane either, but not running the bottom. Pole sitter trying to close in as we're going to take a little look-see off the rear end of the machines. Let's take a look back at this field. But you can see the number 39, Sharpie Sheena Pileski, still inside of the top 10. Great run so far for him. On board with the number 25 machine of Nick Fleury. Looking back at the 93 of Andrew Payne. McIntyre, Fleury, you can hear him having a down to that throttle out of 4. That's something you never really want to see. You never really want to be doing too much of that. You see him lose a little bit of ground as we're going to go on board now with the 38 of David Patton. A little look off of the roof at the field in front. Beautiful camera shots here tonight, brought to you by all the hard-working men and women back here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. We do appreciate each and every one of you. Everything you do down into 3 as Tallarico continues to lead the way. Lap number 30 underway, and what I'm wondering here is we're already 30 laps into tonight's race. When are those green flags? Man, that is a beautiful sound, ain't it? When are those green flag pit stops gonna come? Gotta be sights and sounds here from Daytona International Super Speedway. What a way to watch a race. What a way to kick things off in the season. A lot of league series, divisions like to finish the season off with the granddaddy of them all. We're going to fire things off race number 1 at one of the most historic, prestigious, well-known worldwide tracks that you can think of here on American soil. That's Daytona International Speedway. Drivers from around the world know about this track, whether it's the inside road course for the Rolex 24 or it is the Premier Daytona 500, the Coke 400, or tonight's Premier 250. Drivers on track, putting it all out on the line, laying it on the line early here this season. Single file racing usually tells us green flag pit stops right around the corner. You're going to look back here and you can see just about your top 10 all single file, so I would expect to see these guys down pit road here momentarily. So as we may have a little lull in the action here as we get into the beef of tonight's race, I want to take this moment to ask you, if you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation to let them know you enjoy all the racing action here tonight at Daytona International Super Speedway. We're going to have some great racing coming at you each and every Tuesday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, your home for the American Sim Racing Club. And check out the run of that 22 to the high side. Presley making a move and doing it all by himself. That in itself deserves one of this. Show these drivers some love and appreciation, and make sure you drop them that thumbs up if you haven't already. Join us in that push to 4,000 as already. Drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there at the right hand side. Get notified anytime we go live and back to the action on the track. Gotta get the promos out the way, you know, keep the bills paid. That way we can bring you action like this week in, week out. The Kellogg's Card Quest number 48 machine. Man, that thing looks good too. These guys have got some top-notch painters. Can somebody tell me, did Presley paint more cars in this field? What paint shops he work at? There's the one we gotta get out there. Let's show this guy some love. Let's get his info over here in the chat. If he's putting out paint jobs, let's give this guy a shout, man. He's got some amazing looking machines. We are still green flag racing here at Daytona International Super Speedway as we begin lap number 35. Timing and scoring back over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Tallarico continuing to show the way, but how about the horsepower of that 22? Able to hang tough on the high side and doing it all alone. That is showing some skill, showing some speed, and showing some fortitude. There we go. Like that. Things starting to simmer down just a little bit throughout this field. Your top 10 slowly beginning to break away. There you can see that second pack being led by your Premier Racing Setup Pole Award winner Braxton DeWeese, the 08 sitting in the 13th position. Just kind of hanging out. Doesn't really look like he's trying too much to bring the car up through the field. There you can see falling a second lap down now. This may put the, I don't want to say the final nail in the coffin for that number 3 Monster Energy machine of Tyler Martin, but 2 laps down at a restrictor plate. It's tough. It can happen. We can have multiple problems. We can have multiple issues. So we'll see, and that's kind of, it's almost the trouble and the benefit all at once with problems early at a restrictor plate race, right? If you have a problem, you want it to be early. That way you have the time to recover. right? That way you give yourself the longest possibility to make those positions up. But when it happens, and you're the only one, you are now all alone. And with this field doing over 195, pushing 200 miles an hour in a pack, and you're giving up 3 seconds or more a lap, you just can't compete by yourself like that. You just can't. Able to stop the bleeding now, though. You see him get right here, get in the draft, able to keep pace here. This is what he's got to do. He's got to stay here. But let's make... There's no secret. He needs a caution. Bottom line, no need to sugarcoat it. No need to play about it. Running right here with the top 4 too, so has got the ride, has got the speed, but unfortunately had a bad moment. Let's put him into this moment. Second pack slowly starting to reel back in those top 4 degrees, starting to close in on the tail end of Patton for 12th. We're going to have one long train of cars once again here at Daytona International Super Speedway as we close in on the halfway point. These guys are going to look to make this a one-stop race, which makes this green flag pit stop all the more important. Right? It doesn't look like there's going to be a... Guys, we'll clean it up for next time. There ain't gonna be a next time unless we got problems. 10 laps away from the halfway point here tonight. Oh my goodness, big trouble, big hit to the outside. The 48 gonna catch some contact. What happened to Presley? Was Presley able to save it? Still trying to fight through the... Oh my... Man... We got crazy battles for the race lead, but we got some crazy battles for the good hands by Allstate saving the race. I mean, I don't think it was an award before tonight, but man, we might need to make one because these dudes, man, they crashing, they just ain't wrecking. And I don't... And it's been at the front of the field each time. Man, this isn't like drivers in the back just beating and banging. These are race leaders. These are race-winning contenders. Having these big moments, these big problems at the front of the field and somehow walking away. Sheesh. Big moment now for Postma on the outside with help from Hardings. 45 up 18 positions. He's been one of them quiet sleepers, quiet climbers. Just slowly, methodically making his way through the field. Going to come down side draft just a little bit due to travel. Trying to get back to the rear end of that 8 machine. Pushes him just in front of Tallarico. But Tallarico going to come fighting back on the outside. Side by side for your top 431. Waiting in the wings, we apologize. That's going to be the 51 singular machine of Ron Hart. He's up 13 positions. What once was rare to be a double digits gainer has now become commonplace inside your top 10. I mean, we're talking up 11, 12, 13. 18 positions for a handful of these guys. They ain't playing games. They ain't playing around. They mean business. Picking it up, laying him down, lap number 44 on the board. Talarico. A little bit of a lackluster qualifying effort. But a face that's familiar to the front finds a way to get the job done. Talarico has been in control of tonight's race for about the past 15 laps or more, as we have got to be closing in on green flag pit stops. I mean, we are 45 laps into tonight's race. Green flag racing the entire night. And these guys have yet to make a pit stop. Not just have yet to make a pit stop, but it doesn't look like any of them have even... Oh, big trouble on the backstretch. Big trouble on the backstretch. Devin McDonald going to go for a huge slide. Oh my gosh. Just kisses that inside safer barrier, but we got a caution. Caution will fly here on lap number 45. Let's go back. Let's take one more look at it here. Ooh. The 18 with a big slide. Let's check out what happened to Martin. Here you can see the number 3 trying to drive his way through it. Let's speed this back up, guys. Can we... There we go. Full speed. Thank you. We appreciate that. Back up on the... Oh, no. Tacked in a piggyback. That is not what you want to see. 49th night may be done. The 71 of Brent Hahn also going to catch some contact. Caution number 1 here. Going to catch up 3-4 drivers as we head back out front with your race leader, Tanner Talarico. And with the pit road open, I would expect to see all these drivers come down pit lane. Go ahead, get the fuel to get to the end of tonight's race. They've got to have enough. Didn't look like anybody was worried about getting to pit road. So I would assume, I would imagine that this is going to be our only stop of the night, but will cautions breed cautions? We're going to find out here shortly, as indeed pit road open. Field will head down pit lane. So with that being said, we're going to take a brief commercial break, step away from the track, pay a little bit of the sponsors' bills as we get ready to finish things off here tonight. Don't go anywhere, race fans. You're watching the Premier 250.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
And welcome back, Trackside. If you're just joining us, you're watching the ASR Gen 4 Series season kickoff at Daytona International Super Speedway. First caution of the night coming here on the lap number 47. A lot of drivers electing to come back down and top off with fuel. The pace car lights are off. We are ready to go back green. This time around, following the field inside the infield with the turn 3 drone cam. We do appreciate our good buddy Joshua Norwood coming down, lending his drone skills, bringing some great camera shots, some absolutely amazing shots throughout this entire facility, man. We've got it all. Let's go as we get set to unleash the beast once again. Here to go front of this field. Inside we go, and away we are on the gas, and green flag flies once again. You're from Daytona. Top 3, 4, 5 beginning to separate themselves just a little bit early here. And interesting to see these guys be able to break away. We haven't really seen this all night long. Could that first and only caution, could it maybe have messed with the mentality of some of these drivers? Are we looking to see a few of them maybe back off of, I don't want to say the aggression. They haven't been really aggressive. They've just been racy. Man, how about this, man? The 22. He had a huge moment. Right? Where's he at? Gets his elbows out. Puts his head down. Gets through the pit stop. And comes out inside your top 5, battling for the lead spot once again is John Deere 22 machine of Timothy Presley. John Kane right behind him, and that Mopar number 9 Justin Thompson. We haven't seen him in quite some time, but the good wrench, Baby Blue number 3 with a head full of steam, making some headway on the high side. He's going to take that 3rd position away. Now look for 2nd. Does he have enough to get to the front? Not quite. Looks like that run's going to fizzle out a little bit as we cross the start-finish line. We're going to go ahead and drop the time once again. Over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Handful of drivers still on pit road after that heavy hard contact. Braden Cook, Tyler Martin, both still on pit road. Brett Hahn was somehow able to get that 71 Viagra machine back out on the track. Might have a hard time, no pun intended, might have a hard time keeping up with the field. He's going to have to try to get himself in between 2 cars, let them split the air in the draft, and he's just going to have to hope for just a good points day from here. More than likely, the opportunity for the race win has gone out the window for this 71. And you can hear that machine. It doesn't sound good. It sounds sick. You can see the front end Bashed in. There's the field out front on losing precious time to 39. Opaleski, another one of the drivers that we were frequently seeing inside the top 5. Here he is after that trouble outside of your top 10, all the way back in 20th, and losing ground to Hahn right now. Lesky and Hahn, they're going to have to hope that they can get together and maybe at least stop the bleeding. I don't think that they're going to be able to run down the front, but maybe they can stop the bleeding. Stop that time loss. Single file for the majority of the rest of the field. Just a handful into that outside lane. Back around that 15th position with Hayden Swank in the 35. Ron Hart in the 51. Singular Machine right there as well. Nick Fleury, he was working his way up through the field to 25. With Fleury now sitting in that 17th spot. And this just looks like a much more organized run at the back of this field. You can see them all just about a car length and a half off of each other, giving each other room to get into the corner, but still staying in the drag. Still tucked up, getting a pull off of the driver in front while getting that push from the man behind. You can see the 93 closes in just a little bit more on this 38. Payne may be thinking that Patton's losing a little bit too much ground to that 48 machine, but no stranger to the front. He started from that pole position. Behind the wheel of that Bennett's number 13 machine, the away of Braxton DeWeese. No real trouble here tonight for your pole sitter. Hasn't really, I want to say, a quiet night. Right, he started at the front of the field, led the opening handful of laps, kind of went to the back of the field, avoided some contact that brought out the first caution, was able to navigate his way through that. Made 2 stops under our caution, make sure he had enough fuel right as we went back, green flag racing. I mean, he's just kind of been hanging out. And some would say that maybe I don't want to, it's not scared driving. It's not cautious driving. A lot of times drivers that are able to head to the rear of the field at a super speedway and not continually have to make their way back to the front and then drop to the back to the front again. The drivers that are able to stay back here, knowing that they can get to the front almost anytime they please, but choose to run here, takes a different mentality, and I call it competence. Not being cautious, it's being confident, knowing when to make that run. We've seen single car runs really work. He's going to move to the outside now, look for him to gain some ground here in turn number 3. Handful of drivers in front of him starting to explore that high side. And absolutely, Chris, patience. I mean, it didn't work with my train of C's there, but patience is definitely something you gotta have. But I myself, I love being behind the wheel at restricted plate racing. I seem to be, I just had a thing for it. And one of my hardest problems as we go 3 wide for a moment here, the 18 meet in the middle, Talarico at the bottom. Their second stop under our caution. Talarico now no longer at the front, finds himself on the bottom of 3 wide as we head halfway down the back stretch. They're going to figure that out. Go back side by side here as they come to the front. Fizzles out for DeWeese. One of the hardest things that I had to learn was how to sit still. Right? I used to like being at the front. But a lot of problems can come from the front. Where have we seen the majority of tonight's problems? Come on, I'll wait. I'll wait for the answer. It hasn't been outside of the top 15, I'll tell you that much. It hasn't been outside the top 10. Not many places left for it. So the problems have come at the front. John Kane. How about the John by this man? I don't want to get off on a tangent. Don't want to forget about what the guys are doing out here on the track. But Kane, an amazing one here now, up 12 positions. The 45 right behind him, Hardings. Mopar machine. Getting it done to number 9. Looking good out front. Nice. Born on senior's birthday. That's nice. But back to what I was saying real quick, just to cap it off. To learning to be able to sit there until it's time to do this. We talked about him being outside the top 10. Challenging now for a top 3. Just like that. And that's what I meant by the confidence part. Braxton knows that if I want to go to the front, if I need to go to the front, all I got to do is go. So being able to hold yourself back and relax and be patient, that is a skill unto itself. 18 of McDonald going to head down to the bottom of the racetrack as the lap machine heads to the high side. That's going to be the 3 of Tyler Barton staying out of the way of the lead package drivers. DeWeese now going to battle for the top spot once again to now make it 3 to the high side. The 22 going to take his shot to the high side as DeWeese reclaims the race lead. Once again, leading the field here at Daytona International Super Speedway. Number 13 of DeWeese, the 86, with a good shot from the 45. Ooh, close, but he's going to pull it. Ooh. Get that down button on the elevator, baby, and Hoffman now leads him off of 4. Gotta watch coming up off the bottom a little too much right there. Close race across the line. We're going to keep it with the 86. I'm noticing, though, Hardings has got to be, not Hardings high, but Hoffman down on the inside lane. Hoffman has got to be careful opening up that inside lane a little bit too much. Coming at a 4. We'll see if he does it again. Going to lose a little bit of ground. Close racing here as the 45. Harding says, yep, I'll take the race lead at the bottom, please. Harding's back to the top, and oh, contact outside wall. The 22 of Presley going to catch a piece of the outside wall. It's going to slow the roll a little bit, trying to drag this lead pack back with the side draft. Closing in on 35 to go. No green flag pit stop is going to be needed to get to the end of tonight's race. And here he is again. Looking to the outside, making a run. Timothy Preston. Going after it, man, all alone. I like it. I like it. DeWeese falls back just a little bit now, all the way back to that 8th position. We seen him moments ago battling for the race lead. So maybe a little methodical jump there, right? It was outside the top 15. Made a jump and a run. Grabbed the race lead for just a brief moment once again. Was unable to keep it as the leapfrog session began. And that outside lane and back down to the bottom. He's going to get shuffled back to 8th, but let's not count DeWeese out just yet. Still a very long way to go. Over 70 miles of racing still out in front of these guys. Magic man moment. Oh no, Timothy Presley. A little bit of connection problems here. Magic man, now you see him, now you don't. Timothy Presley connection problems, and it looks like it very well may plague him for the rest of tonight's race. There he is. He's going to come back. And now you see him, now you don't. Magic man. This ain't Ricky Bobby or Cal Naughton. This is Timothy Presley, and he is leading the field. Sorry, I couldn't help myself with the Magic Man. Sorry. Haven't seen a lot of the racing we're seeing here at the moment. Single file racing off of 4. Everybody chasing after Timothy Presley, who's got less than a 10th over that 45 of Hastings, the number 9 of Kane. Looking good. And that Mopar machine, he's led a lap or two here tonight. Hoffman, good run for him as well as McLean. Thompson. McLean up in the mix inside of the top 10 once again. Great job here tonight by a lot of these drivers through the field. We're going to take a look back here. Off of that 03 of Justin Thompson, the Good Wrench 03 machine. Taking a look back at McLean. McIntyre and Tallarico right there as well. Postma running well there. You can see him, that black and red car, just 2 cars back, sitting in front of the Caterpillar machine. A little bit of a loose moment there. Left side tires getting on that double yellow painted line. And with the downforce or lack thereof, these cars feel and react way different. Some of these drivers may be used to as far as the next gen machines. Presley continuing to show the way as your top 3 begin to break away here at Daytona International Speedway. Just about 30 laps as we continue to pound the pavement. The pace begins to quicken, and we're going to jump on board here with Zachary Postma inside of that number 8 machine. Look at the banking here with the turn 3 gyro cam. And just imagine being in a roller coaster for this thing. We're gonna bring up, guys. Do we have the telemetry? I hope we got it. All right, let's throw that up. And there you can see, and you can hear him out of the throttle. Listen to him being out of the throttle into the corner, 182 miles an hour, out of the gas. Let's watch it down the straightaway here. Listen to the engine. And that's 181 miles an hour. without trying. You want to know what's going on one of these? Let's take a look here. 13 of Deweese, 188, blowing the doors off of guys to the inside. He's seen that top 4 break away, and he said, we can't let this happen. We have got to get up there and run these guys down. Let's jump back outside of the car. Will he be able to drag this single train ahead quick enough? Deweese ain't playing no games here tonight. Around the corner of 3/4 of the way through tonight's race, we're going to work our way to lap number 75. Out front, check these guys out. They've got themselves over a 6-second advantage. You would think they would calm down. You would think they would say, guys, hey. Get somebody on the horn. Go talk to that 3. Go talk to that. Whoa, big moment. Go talk to the 45. Let's get in line. Let's get in line here. We got 6 seconds on these guys. We'll be able to be just as quick as them with just us 4 if we stay in line. Let's run this to 10 to go. And let's have at it. But nah. Oh, in trouble. And around he goes, 45 on the track, up into the outside wall. Contact trouble with hard racing at the front. Alluding to what I was speaking of, just racing hard at the front of the field, could have walked away with an opportunity. And now it's all up for grabs. Let's go back, take a little look here at what happened to bring out the caution. Once again, contact between the 22 and the 3. Down the racetrack goes the John Deere 22 into the 45 of Hardings. Up the racetrack, and if that 9 machine missed it, it was by paper thin margins. Heavy, hard impact for that 45 of Hardings. We're going to take one more look at it here if we can. Let's go back one more, guys. Can we get it full speed? Watch this impact. Rear tires off of the racetrack just for a moment there. Big, heavy, hard impact. Somehow able to drive this machine off. Second caution of the night comes out. Lap number 74. We'll head back to the front with your race leader, Timothy Presley, Justin Thompson behind him, John Kane, Andrew Hardings. Somehow still able to drive that machine. That's... So what do you do if you're a crew chief? What do you want if you're a race car driver? Typically, tires don't really matter much at these restrictor plate tracks. And it looks like we're going to have our answer. We're going to give up the track position for 4 fresh Goodyear tires. The field is going to head down pit road. We're going to take a brief commercial break as we get set. Yeah, run you to the end of tonight's race. We're going to keep it live all the way to the checkered flag. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And as promised, back trackside, not missing any of the green flag action field. Ready to go, double file. We're going to kick it off once again. Will we get to the end under green? Or will our second caution bring out that tornado-esque style of racing, that mad dash to the front for the chance at a checkered flag? We've seen cautions breed cautions in the past. We've seen it happen to the best of them. We've seen it go from almost last to the race lead. Will we see it happen again? Pole sitter Braxton DeWee's gonna okey doke the field on pit road, pick up right sides and fuel only. And with the right sides and fuel only, call that number one pit stall. It's got him back out front. He will lead us back to the green flag. Whew. Man, I'm telling you, it has been a night for your Premier Racing Senate Pole Award winner, who will bring us back to the green flag on the gas, and away we go. Green flag flies once again, live here from Daytona. So you're not quite down to the nitty-gritty just yet, are you, race fans? 23 to go, 2.5 mile restrictor plate track. It's not time to go just yet, is it? Do you have time to wait? Do you wanna wait? What's the strategy? What's the plan? I can tell you, this man right here, that John Deere machine, his plan is get to the front and keep him behind you. Of a strategy game, got himself to the front, in control of the race, lead with 22 to go, but here comes that I lane, being led by the 22. Timothy Presley looking to regain that top spot, and once again the number 9 of John Kane right there trying to help your pole sitter to his first checkered flag. Drivers still on the lead lap. That is 19 drivers on the lead lap, 22 laps to go. Only one driver looks to be down and out of tonight's race, unfortunately. Big problems after contact in that 49 of Braden Cook, and he's going to fall multiple laps down. Tyler Martin just unable to really ever recover here tonight. Contact early, sent him for a spin, involved in another caution later on tonight. And just it has been a rough start to the season for the Gen 4 driver behind that number 3 machine, Tyler Martin. Back 11 laps and down, sitting in the 21st position. And just, while some drivers start things off on a good note, a high note, not everybody can walk away with a great points day. That's not being mean. That's not throwing shade. It's not, you know, it's just fact of the matter. Not everybody can walk away with a checkered flag. Not everybody can walk away with a pole position. Not everybody can walk away with a good points day. But will we see one of these drivers at the front having a good points day, throw it all away? Who will be willing to risk it, a shot to call themselves a Daytona champion here with the American Salmon Racing Club Gen 4 Series? It all starts now. It all kicks off here tonight. We're going to have some great racing action coming up over the next handful of weeks. Tune in each and every Tuesday night right here with myself, Dave of the Cave, and everybody else back here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. An amazing night of racing here to kick things off for the ASRC Gen 4 Series. Deweese looks comfortable here at the front. Looks like he may begin to start driving lines around the track. We haven't really seen anybody do that methodical lane changing. I'm not going to call it blocking, because when you do it with a car length or a half a car length, it's not really a block, in my opinion. It's going where the run is coming from. We'll see how good Deweese is good at we'll see how good he is at managing both of these lines. And a little look to the inside. That 38's going to squeeze his way around. He's going to give the position, but maybe a questionable pass there. Looked like he may have had left side tires without being forced down there. We're going to have to see what race officials say about that one. But for the moment, 38 still clear. He's going to get the position, keep the position for the time being, to move inside of the top 10. Now sitting in 8th as Deweese still trying to show the way here. Inside lane 2, 3 wide with the 51, meet in the middle, and the move to the bottom again. That 38 is going to move to the bottom and keep it there. A little bit of a wash up the racetrack here. It's going to wash up just a little bit, but this is now 2 laps in a row. We've seen him have just enough room to go down there. But put the car there. Again, we'll have to see. And we're still getting the thumbs up, all clear from that 38, so just being super aggressive, pushing the envelope just a little bit, and sometimes, man, you gotta go where there ain't, and you gotta go where they don't think you will. See a little bit of a wiggle for that 9. If I've got the 38 behind me, I don't want to come up off of that double yellow line. I don't want to give them the opportunity to think about putting that nose to the inside. Offset for the 51 there. Third car outside lane. That's going to congest things on the high side for a moment here. 15 to go. And Deweese still showing the way. You see him just a little bit here at the front. We're going to back away just a little bit, get a bigger picture of that 38. There it is again. There's the move to the inside. He's going to push the envelope, and he is not going to give way. He is going to weave his way to the inside. Force the 9 up the racetrack, almost into the 22. Heads up move there by that number 9 machine, able to wash up the racetrack. The 22 checking up just enough. The 8 following suit. See a little bit of damage there on that right front of the 22. He's going to come way down the track for a huge side draft on that 38. Being shuffled out, and looks like he may be shuffled to the back. The number 9 Mopar machine left on the high side. We've got 3 wide with the inside lanes blasted by. Contact outside wall, and King gonna drop like a rock. The Mopar number 9, after contact with the outside wall through 3 and 4, he's gonna head from the front all the way to the back. 13 to go, still side by side, all the way through your top 10. This, whoa, trouble, Tallarico into the outside wall. Trouble from a push, Tallarico into the outside wall. He's going to head to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to recuperate and recover. minimize the loss here. But there's the run once again. Inside lane prevails through the triangle. The 51 singular machine going to drop down to the team car. At 31 singular machine. Can you hear me now? No, just kidding. That's Verizon. That was Verizon. With cell carriers teaming up, will it be enough to carry them to the front? Tap inside of your top 5. 31. Contact with the 38. 38's able to maintain his cool composure, but a little bit of contact with that 13. DeWeese almost out of shape, able to corral the car and keep it at the front. Man, things heating up with 11 to go here at the Premier 250, brought to you by the Racing Club. Jumping to the outside, looking for a run. Here comes the 51 machine of Ron Hart. He's going to jump to the outside in front of the 22 of Presley. And that may have been the way to go. Presley making a little bit of headway now as the 51's going to pull even with the 38. Side by side racing all the way through your top 10. We're going to have 10 to go, just 25 miles of racing laid out in front of these Gen 4 drivers, and there it is, big move at the top. Ron Hart gonna look to lead the race, but the charge from the inside coming once again. DeWeese gonna battle, oh, big contact. The big one on the backstretch. Huge contact for the 48 of Rogers. Big contact, big trouble as we're under caution for the 3rd time here. We're going to quickly jump to this one. Let's go to the replay. See what happened here. We're going to catch it. There you can see that 48. Maybe, guys, did we catch the wrong caution there, guys? I believe we did, guys. Let's get that one right if we can. A handful of drivers going to be involved in this one with less than 10 to go. There's the contact with the outside wall. Going to come down the racetrack into the side of the 03. The 86 going to catch a piece. The 39 falls victim to yet another catastrophe. There goes the 81 of McIntyre. He's going to slide his way through. Tallarico, there's the 9. He's going to come catch a little piece on the front end. The 34 goes by to the inside. What happened here with Rogers? Let's take a look. Big, heavy, hard impact with that Clark Kellogg's number 48 machine. Man, if we thought the intensity level was high, if we thought that these drivers were laying it all out on the line, that was with over 20 to go. That was with over 15 to go. We're going to restart just outside the window of 5 laps to go. It is going to be, for all intents and purposes, this is going to be an all-out brawl. You have the all-star shootout. Well, this is just going to be a shootout for the ages. Your premier racing setup pole award winner, Braxton DeWeese, in front of the field. He will be the control car. The 51 of Ron Hart, he's made his way all the way through this field from 18th now to 2nd. Presley, he's up 8 positions. He's going to restart 3rd. The 38 of David Patton started in 8th, now sitting in 4th. He's not afraid to try to get to the front. We've seen that under this latest green flag stint. Look for that 38 to try to head to the front. Postmut in that 8 machine. Where'd he come from? Haven't spoke very much about the man behind the wheel of that number 8 machine here tonight. Just silent Sam here at the Speedway. And I mean, a beautiful looking car, nice and clean, doesn't look to have a single blemish on it anywhere. One of the cleanest rides is that Post McFlooring Quick Time Monte Carlo. And I'm telling you, a clean car can get you somewhere. We'll see if it does. But man, a phenomenal job by Postman. McLean, he's up 13 positions. He's going to restart in 6th. Third car outside lane. What about Hoffman? A lot of movement through tonight's race for that 86 machine. He's going to restart right where he started tonight's race from. In that 7th position. It's going to be an interesting end. It's going to be... I don't want to say we haven't seen the final caution. But I kind of feel it. I got that feel that we're going to get this thing kicked back off. We're going to see... I may have prematurely called our latest caution the big one. I think we very well may have a bigger one on our hands here. We'll see how these drivers go about it. We'll see if they can get the job done. We'll see if we stay green flag to the end. Either way, we're going to keep it right here all the way to the end for your checkered flag here tonight with the ASRC Gen 4 Series. You're watching the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll set the field. Deweese and Hart, row 1. Presley and Patton in row 2. Row 3 for our latest restart. Postma and McLean, Hoffman and Payne in row 4. Swank and Hardings gonna finish out your top 10. Pace car in. We are ready to go again, and green flag flies. Deweese with a great start, but you gotta watch getting out there too soon. You don't want to give your competition too much of a draft, too much of a gap that they can really quickly reel you in. 51 going to look to the outside now. Big run from that 51. He's going to look to the outside. That's going to give the 2 drivers behind them just enough time to try to come up and make a move. Looks to the inside. Not going to be there. Deweese with the block. 51 now down the racetrack. Here comes the 38 to the high side. 3 wide as the 31 looks to the high side. The 8 in the middle. The 22 down on the bottom. Presley, the bottom feeder here tonight. Catfish Billy on top of that John Deere machine. Now Deweese, big move, big block by the 38, but Deweese going to keep the nose there on the bottom. Big issues now for the 8 and the 31. He's going to miss that one. Tallarico back up into the mix up the racetrack. The 38 going to push just a little bit to the high side. We've got Deweese back at the front with the 51 right behind. We're going to drop that timing and scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. Things might get hot and heated in these final 5 laps. My goodness, 3 wide for the 4th position here. Going at it. Tallarico now going to make his way into the mix. The 51 looks to the outside. Here comes Presley to the bottom. Back across the stripe contact between the 13 and the 51. 3 wide still with that 38 to the high side. He is not giving up the fight. He is all alone. Little bit of door banging with the 18 through the center of 1 and 2. We've got 3 lanes of racing action now here from Daytona. 4 remaining, 3 wide, 2 rows deep down the backstretch. Up the racetrack, little contact there. The 22 gonna get into the front end of the 18. That's gonna squeeze the 38 just a little bit. He's gonna fall back in line. Third car, outside lane, drag race across the line. Get the odds on the 51 of Ron Hart, but DeWeese fights back on the bottom. Who's going to make a move? Who's going to try to go? 3 to go now as we work our way off of 2 back down the back stretch. Once again, there's the 2-3 wide racing, the 18 to the high side now. And I think you're going to have to... Oh, contact him, 38. Big impact. Big impact. We stay green flag racing somehow. It's a side-by-side battle. It's a duel to the end as popsicle sticks on display for your race lead. DeWeese on the bottom with the 51 of Ron Hart at the top. The 86 and the 39 starting to close in. Hard impact earlier for that 39. He's recovered. He looks to the high side. Now goes to the middle. Big move there. 39. Apolowski gonna put his name back into the mix. Tacked in the 22 into the outside wall. Tacked in the 22 into the outside wall. Going to make contact with the 51. That's going to slow their roll. Here comes Tallarico. Tallarico shot out of a cannon, but we've got a 3-car breakaway at the front. And the 13 sliding. Oh my God. Holy jeez. White flag flies. Final lap. Oh my goodness. Tallarico, where did he come from? Shot out of a cannon from outside of your top 7. Now inside of your top 3, looking for second. Maybe a chance for the race lead. Here comes DeWeese to the bottom. They're going to split the 39. Tallarico at the top with the race lead. DeWeese with a drive on the bottom. Holy jeez, 93 into the outside wall. Tallarico drops to the inside behind DeWeese. Off of 4, here we go. All sorts of out of shape. We're underneath the, oh my gosh, everywhere around. Tallarico gonna cross the start-finish line first, but who's gonna get the race win? Tallarico, DeWeese, Hoffman scored as your top 3 drivers crossing the line. Holy what? That's a finish, boys. Let's get, can we go back? Can we see it again, guys? Let's go take a look at that finish one more time here. Let's slow it down. Here's the runoff of 4. Tallarico, a little bit of contact, slides way down the racetrack. 39 also slides down the racetrack here. It's going to be interesting to see how they call it here, but just an amazing finish off of 4. That 86 was cooking. Man, oh man. What a race, what a run by all of the drivers through this field. You can see a handful of them coming down pit road. DeWeese gonna head to pit lane. Tanner Tallarico looks like he will indeed celebrate the race win here on the front stretch. So hats off to the man that gets the job done here tonight. Man, the moment, the man on screen. Tallarico gonna walk away with the checkered flag, and we're gonna step away, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race show. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. In back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's premiere 250, brought to you by the American Sim Racing Club Gen 4 series. What an amazing night, what an amazing race, and what a way to end things here tonight. And we're going to take this time to see if we can't grab and have a handful of words with some of the drivers that walked away in your podium positions here tonight. First up, we're going to see if we can have a moment. We'll see if we can't get him here. Let's see if we can't have a word with the man behind the wheel of that number 86 machine. Going to walk away with third here tonight. Stevens, Dave in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear, bud. Man, what a way to start off the season. You're going to walk away with a podium position. Set yourself up for a good showing for next week. Well, how good's it feel to walk away from a restrictor plate race inside the top three?
Oh, it's a big weight lifted off your shoulders. I think within 5 to go, I thought there was 2 or 3 times I was like, "This is it. We're all getting killed. This is it. We're all done." Somehow I was able to get through all of it, and just kept her pointed straight and never lifted.
Now, we opened things up here tonight with a very long green flag run. Was that what you were expecting coming into tonight's race? Were you expecting to have that opening run as long as it did, or were you expecting maybe an early caution here with everybody just getting reacclimated with the track, with the car, and with each other?
Yeah, I figured there might be a chance within the first 20 there'd be a caution, but I figured probably laps 20 to 80, I knew everybody would just be riding around single file, double file, but nobody would really be pushing the issue. I kind of dropped back to I think 15th or 16th, and we were going to be able to make the one pit stop work if it happened, and I think that caution came out on lap 46 or 7, and that kind of threw that out the window. But our 2 teammates, they were up front toward the front of the pack, so they were short on fuel, so I don't know how it would have worked for pit strategy. But yeah, I figured the last 15 laps for sure would be a lot more exciting. That's for sure.
Well, they definitely were a lot more exciting, in the final 10 laps were ramped up even more than that, man. So just an amazing race for all the fans in the stands and everybody watching out there in TV land. So before we let you go here tonight, Steve, would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
Shout out to whoever's watching the 86 car out there on YouTube. Thanks to Andrew and Brett for throwing this series on. Thanks to you guys over at Turn 3 for doing all the great things you guys do with the broadcast. Kind of makes it a little bit more exciting.
Well, man, with racing like we had here tonight, we've got no choice but to have exciting things. An amazing way to start off the season. We'll see if your fortune continues into next week. We hope to get to talk to you a handful of times throughout the rest of this season. Until then, my friend, stay safe and keep it fast.
Appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
All right, there you go. Final few words for the man that walks away in third here tonight. Picking up 4 positions throughout the course of tonight's race. Started in 7th, finishes in 3rd. Stephen Hoffman behind the wheel of that number 86. That's going to move us along to our next driver in our finishing order. He started with the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award. He's going to finish for the moment in 2nd. A heck of a race for the man behind the wheel of this 08 machine. Braxton, it's Dave. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. You got a copy of me?
I do got a copy. Seems like we may have a little bit of audio issues with you, but we'll try to work our way through them anyway, man. An amazing way to start tonight's race, to start the season. Grab the pole position. You led a handful of laps. A little bit of a disappointing end for you here. What's your thoughts on those final few laps?
I felt like we definitely put ourselves in a good position there at the end of the race. We had a hell of a save there coming to the white flag, and I was really glad I was able to keep a hold of it there and be able to still race for the win. But you know, as of right now, we're 2nd. I'm not sure if that's gonna stand or not, but we'll act like it stands right now. So we're still happy with the second place finish and being one spot short of the win. I believe we led the most laps, and we also got a lap led, so that's 10 extra bonus points there. So happy with that, and I was really trying to look forward to do that here at Daytona. It'd be a good start and a good opportunity to do that. So I'm glad we were able to get that done. And there is the yellow line rule, so we'll see how it ends up working out. I mean, I have my thoughts and opinions on it, but like I said, we still finished second. So if we end up finishing second at the end of the day, and there's nothing that's assessed, I'll still be happy with a good start to the year. So, just happy with the momentum that we've started so far, and hopefully we can actually have momentum. It wouldn't be momentum yet since we haven't done another race, but
Well, man, in my personal opinion,
so far,
in my personal opinion, man, you've got
Throughout.
every right to be a little bit upset right now.
race we had, I guess you could say throughout the race we had good momentum. So hopefully we can carry that through the next race and hopefully stay on top of our strategy and get the bonus points.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. And you have every right to be upset and a little mad right now about the way things ended. But Class Act right there shows itself happy with, even if it doesn't pan out and you don't walk away with that race win, you're still happy with the finish, still happy with the points, and still happy at the way the season's building, even though this is the first race of the season. So my hat's off to you for that. When it takes a big man to swallow something like that, and man, you've done a phenomenal job at doing it and keeping your head up here at the end of tonight's race. Phenomenal race here at Daytona to open up the season. Before we let you go, though, Braxton, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, maybe anybody back home?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely like to give a shout out to Bennett's Publical on the hood and the side of the car. We don't have the actual number and the contingencies right. We weren't able to get that done in time, but we'll definitely have it for next week with the old number 8 on there. So that's usually what I run into. There's a number 8 car in there, but we might have to put a little 0 in front of that. So if so, that's all right, but we'll still definitely be an 8 car. So I definitely appreciate Bennett's Publical, and I also want to give a shout out to Interstate Ford, Allen's Arts Images, Jane's on Main, DeWeese Renovations, Booth 34 Diecast, Unrivaled Cinematography, Blaze Designs car next week as well, just with the updates and whatnot on the car. So shout out to him for the designs, and also shout out to Bully Dog Coffee Company for sponsoring. You can use Brax5 for 10% off over there in the checkout. So I appreciate him for letting me use that, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in, watched the broadcast, tuned in, watched my stream on YouTube, and we'll just let the roles be the rules. We'll let the admins do what they need to do and see if it changes or anything. But like I said, we're still happy with second place finish, and we'll move on next week, which I believe is Rockingham, and we'll see if we can be one spot better.
Yeah, and again, Braxton, an amazing job at an amazing race, and I've got a feeling we're going to have the opportunity to talk multiple times throughout this season, so let's keep that head held high, and I'll wait to talk to you again here shortly, the next handful of weeks. But until then, my friends, stay safe and keep it fast.
Yes, most definitely. I appreciate you, man.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away second. Little bit of a disappointing end of the night for that 08. Almost had it in the bag. Potentially could still have it in the bag. Will there be a controversial finish? We don't know. That is not our role. We know what we think. We know what you saw. We know how you may feel. But what matters is the way it has all boiled down here tonight. It has worked out like this. We're going to go back to a familiar place with what used to be a familiar place. Long time no talk, but back in a familiar spot. Tanner, it's Dave. How you been?
Hey Dave, what's going on, man?
Same old same for me. Looks to be the same old same for you. Winning races and, crushing dreams. No, I'm just kidding, man. Wow, what a race, right? Walk me through those last 5 laps.
Yeah, that was really the whole race was a roller coaster, but the last 5 laps or so were pretty wild. I mean, I tried to get up and lead some laps because we give out some bonus points now for this series for leading laps and leading the most laps. So tried to lead a bunch there right before halfway, before that I guess halfway caution came out and we all pit. But then right there at the end, we had saved a bunch of fuel because we were gonna just barely be able to make it, and then that rash of late race cautions kind of just made everybody go for it, I guess. And that we kind of got caught up in some stuff with about 5 laps to go. We were running about 5th or 6th and kind of lost the pack a little bit, and I just kept my foot in it, and I had a little bit of damage. I got into the backstretch wall just past halfway. I had a little bit of damage, but it was just enough to where I could keep up, and we came to get 2 laps to go, and everybody just kept wrecking. I just kept my foot in it, and they just kept wrecking, and then I got into position to at least have a shot at it going into 3 on the white, and we were coming back around to take the checkered flag. And last season, in the 87 series that we ran, we didn't have a yellow line rule, and that same rule is in effect tonight, and I actually lost that race because I didn't know about that rule. And now tonight, I kind of took advantage of it and was able to just squeak through right there at the end with Braxton. But that was a wild one to say the least.
Yeah, a wild one for sure. The cautions held off for quite a bit of time. Were you surprised that, or were you expecting the long green flag run, or did you expect a little bit of chaos at the beginning of the race, and then kind of like a little bit more quiet, peaceful race? Does that make sense what I'm asking? Did you expect the carnage at the beginning or the end?
It's kind of tough to say because we kind of all figured out in practice that it was probably going to be a little bit of a fuel mileage race, and a lot of times when that happens, everybody just kind of, you race hard for about 3 or 4 laps and then kind of get sorted out, and you usually get one or two guys that are content with trying to lead the pack, and pretty much from there on back, everybody's just running about 3/4 throttle saving fuel. So from that standpoint, that kind of dumbs things down just a little bit, makes it a little less chaotic. And we kind of had that right there up through the middle part of the race, and even after halfway for, I don't know, probably up until about lap 75, you kind of saw that. And and then as soon as you get a caution inside the fuel window and everybody knows they can make it on fuel, that's kind of when you see things ratchet up and get pretty intense. So that's exactly what happened. I'd say the first 3/4 of the race is pretty tame. And like I said, as soon as everybody knew they could make it to the end on fuel, nobody was saving anything, and it was just kind of, run as hard as you possibly can and hold on for dear life. That's pretty much what it boiled down to.
Well, holding on for dear life is what you did, and you held on to walk away with the first checkered flag this season. A little bit of a different track going into next week. Rockingham, you're going to carry a little bit of momentum. What's your thoughts looking forward to Rockingham?
Well, the Rock has always been fun. This is, definitely going to be a lot more challenging with this Gen 4 car. It's got a lot of horsepower. It's got a lot of grip to start the run, but it's pretty easy to either what we call blow off the right front tire, blow off the right rear tire, depending on how you drive it. And Rockingham's, it's pretty bumpy. The surface is pretty coarse, so it tends to really chew up the tires. So I think the way that you drive the car there next week is going to be pretty indicative, and how you're going to run. You just want to pick a speed that's fast enough to keep up and try to run that same speed throughout the entire run. And I really like Rockingham. I really like this car. I think it's going to be a good time, but I definitely think compared to some of the other series that we ran there in ASRC in the past, it's probably going to be the most challenging car that we've ran there so far.
Well, you got it done. You got a check in the winners column early this season. We'll see if that momentum can pay off next week at the Old School Rock, or if you're going to have to wait an extra week or two to get back into victory lane. But until then, my friend, before we let you go, any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, just real quick, I've got a lot of real-life sponsors, but a couple in particular that are pretty big on the whole iRacing thing. And if they can't watch live, they definitely tune in and try to watch the replay later in the week. And ProCoat Professional Coating, just want to give a shout out to those guys. I'm sure they'll be watching it again. I don't know if you guys are watching live or if you'll be watching the replay back, but thanks for all you guys do for me in real life and on the sim. Boardwalk Sub, really everybody that helps get the real car running throughout the week. Elif Brothers Roofing, Hometown Sunoco, Mike's Custom Garage, Accurate Inspections, KRW Performance and Customs. I mean, the list goes on and on. All the crew guys, everything. Everybody in the league. I mean, this is the kickoff of a brand new series at ASRC. The new Gen 4 series. Brett and Andrew did a great job in the offseason putting this whole thing together. I think we got a really solid group of guys that are going to be dedicated all season long, and we'll have these good car counts up all season. And I think if we can have, you know, maybe dial the excitement meter down just a little bit going forward. If we can do that throughout the rest of the season, I think it's going to be super entertaining, especially for you, Dave, to be able to call these races. So, and thanks to you for putting it all on. We appreciate all you Turn 3 guys, as always.
Well, man, let's not turn that excitement level down too much. We still want to see these amazing shows. We'll just keep that out there. But, man, an amazing night, an amazing run. Way to kick things off for the season. I'm sure we'll speak again. Until then, my friend, stay safe and keep it fast.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man in victory lane behind the wheel of that pro coat. Number 1. Tallarico gonna take the top spot and walk away with a race win. That's going to wrap things up for us here tonight at the Premier 250 for the American Sim Racing Club Gen 4 Series, brought to you by PremierRacingSetups.com, the longest standing and running setup shop on iRacing.com. It doesn't matter what car you're looking for, they've got a setup for you. Looking for the edge over the competition, look no further. You can find them at PremierRacingSetup.com or down in the description. A link right there. Go ahead and click that fancy blue hyperlink and head on over to PremierRacingSetup.com. What a race, what a night, what a week. We're going to get ready to switch gears, and we're going to get old school at Rockingham next week. What a great night here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. You can hear the sounds in the background. That means producers ready to roll here tonight. So let's bring you your unofficial race results here tonight. Walking away with the checkered flag in hand. Behind the wheel of that number 1, Tanner Tallarico. Your Premier Racing Setup Pole Award winner will finish in second. The 08 of Braxton Dewey's with a great start to the season. Stephen Hoffman in the 86. An amazing run as well. Hoffman up 4 positions from where he qualified. Going to finish in third. James Poleski right there in 4th, rounding out your top 5. Behind the wheel of the 93, Andrew Payne. Hayden Swank gonna slide home in 6th, with Andrew Hardings coming home in 7th. Jimmy McIntyre back in 8th, 9th place here tonight to Ron Hart, and Timothy Presley of the John Deere machine will finish in 10th. Jeremy Watkins and Matt McLean back in 12th, followed by Tim Rogers and Devin McDonald. Zachary Postma in 15th. David Patton tonight in 16th. Nick Fleury gonna finish 2 laps down in 17th. John Kane back in 18th, 19th here tonight. Belongs to Brett Hahn. Justin Thompson gonna finish in 20th, with Tyler Martin and Braden Cook finishing out the 22 car field for the American Sim Racing Club Gen 4 Series Premier 250 live from Daytona International Super Speedway. What a race, what a night. Before we get set to cut off the lights and roll up the cords, let's not forget to support these drivers. Join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show the drivers some love. Drop that thumbs up. Click subscribe. Smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anyone else back at the headquarters, we appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Whether you're sliding in to say hey, or you're one of our dedicated fans, friends, family, or one of our many different sponsors, we do appreciate each and every one of you. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, and until next time, my friends, we'll meet you in Turn 3.